Okay, so you know how sometimes when you open up like a massive spreadsheet
Oh, yeah.
and you're just like, whoa,
It's intimidating.
it is intimidating, right? It's like, where do I even begin with this thing?
Totally.
Like you get that feeling of being overwhelmed by data.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I think anyone who's worked with spreadsheets has felt that at some point.
Right. And we're going to talk about how to like make that feeling go away today.
That sounds fantastic.
Right. Because you provided us with some notes about an Excel keyboard shortcut
Uh-huh.
that can help us manage all of that data and navigate these huge spreadsheets.
And what's really interesting about this specific shortcut is that it really changes how you interact with all that data in those big spreadsheets.
Okay, so tell me more about that.
So it's called grouping, and it's not just about, collapsing rows or columns. It's
Right.
about like building a structure within your spreadsheet,
Okay.
like a hierarchy.
All right, so give me an example. Like, how does this actually work in practice?
Okay, so imagine you're looking at a budget, let's say,
Okay.
and it's like a multi-year budget, and
Mm.
each year has like its own revenues and expenses and all the details.
Okay.
You can use this shortcut to group all those individual years together.
So it's like I could collapse like 2023, 2022, 2021.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's almost like those old expandable folders.
Oh, yeah.
You see the main category, and
Yeah.
then you can choose if you want to like dig deeper into it or, keep it all tucked away.
So if I wanted to look at like overall budget trends, I could collapse everything. And then if I want to see the details for, 2022, I could just expand that year.
Exactly. Yeah, you're basically like creating this dynamic summary right within your spreadsheet.
Okay.
And the best part is it's not just for financial stuff.
So I could use it on like a project timeline
Exactly.
or, sales reports, anything that I'm trying to organize.
Yeah, anything where you need to kind of organize information in that hierarchical way.
Okay. I like this.
Yeah.
But, I do wonder, I mean, is there any risk with this?
Hmm.
I mean, you're hiding data, right? So could I overlook something important because I've got it tucked away?
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
I think like any tool, you got to use it carefully.
Hmm.
It's about finding that balance between, getting a clear overview,
Right.
but also being able to see the important details.
So this is about more than just learning the shortcut.
Yeah.
This is about like a strategy for how to organize the data.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's where some of those bonus tips you mentioned come in.
Oh, right.
So once you've grouped everything, you can use Control A, then Alt AH to like collapse all those groups at once,
Oh.
and then Alt AJ to expand them.
All
So
right.
you basically have like, a control panel
Oh, cool.
for all your data, so you can zoom in and out really easily.
Now, how does this compare to other tools in Excel?
Okay.
Because, we have things like filters, we have pivot tables.
Yeah, so think of it as like another tool you can add to your, Excel toolbox.
Okay.
Filters are really good for, if you want to isolate like specific data points.
Mm-hmm.
Pivot tables are great for summarizing data and looking at it in different ways.
Yeah.
Grouping is like, it's a complement to those.
Mhm.
It gives you this like visual and interactive way to structure your whole spreadsheet.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
That makes sense. And, I think our listeners probably wondering, like, how does all this fit in
Yeah.
with, like becoming a better Excel user?
Right.
What's the takeaway here?
I think this deep dive shows us that, keyboard shortcuts,
Yeah.
they're so important for becoming a power user in Excel.
Right.
Like the more you use them, the faster you'll be.
Yeah.
You'll be more efficient. And there are tons of other shortcuts out there,
Yeah.
for navigating, for formatting, formulas, all sorts of things.
Wow. Yeah. It's like learning a secret language
Totally.
that, unlocks all this extra power in Excel. This has been great. I have to say, I started off a little skeptical about this grouping thing,
Yeah.
but I'm convinced
Absolutely.
this is a game changer, and it makes me think about all those other shortcuts that are out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And for everyone listening,
Yes.
our final thought is how can you use this grouping shortcut in your own work?
Right. What kind of problems are you facing that this could solve?
Think about it.
Yeah, we're betting it's more than you think.
Probably is.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me today.
It was my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
And for you listening, thank you for joining us for another deep dive.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.